Hi everyone. My name is David Adewale. I'm a property investor. My company is called Elsewhere Properties Limited in the UK. I'm one of the directors in Elsewhere Properties Limited. And what we do is we invest in properties in the UK, and also apart from investing in property ourselves, we also work with other investors or wannabe investors, experienced investors, wannabe investors as well, to help them with the journey on their property investments, either for helping them to source for deals that we invest into ourselves, or more of like to help them with based on our expertise and experience in property investments to analyze deals and help them to achieve their investment goals, either for long-term passive income building or for them to just raise a short-term cash flow, cash from their investments. So that's what we do in Ellsworth Properties Limited. Not only that, in also properties, we also work with first-time buyers. People are looking to get into property for the first time. We also provide more of knowledge. We share knowledge, provide education on property ourselves, and also we help with we work with property owners that are looking to either sell or of their properties, or they're struggling to sell properties. So we help implement some strategies that we know works all the time, and we've got testimony of people that we've actually used them on their properties sales, and they've got the result that they desired. I'm actually doing this video. It's quite late now, and it looks a bit the video looks dark, and that's because it's night. So I just this thought just came to me, and I thought I just offload it and before either I forget or maybe I didn't get the time to. So I just said I'm just gonna do it. I'm not really bothered about what the quality looks like. The key thing is that you get information. I actually stand to share information, provide information, demystify, and also to provide clarity to people so that they will be empowered enough for them to be able to make life-changing decisions, which they struggled with before they actually met me, or they come in contact with me. So, which is why I'm actually doing this video right now. So I just want to talk about what is going on right now in the market of property in the UK. So we've seen like a mini boom in the property market, or will I say mini boom? I say boom. You know, in some places, I mean, in terms of the increase of house prices in the UK, in some part of UK is even higher than they would normally have, and that is actually there is actually a reason for that, or there are even a few reasons for that, and I'm going to talk about the reasons why we actually have the boom now. I'm just going to actually, before I actually go into that, I'm just going to play a bit of a scenario. You have a tree, or yeah, a tree that is on its own. It's been chopped off, right? It's been broken. It's not no longer standing, and then you then take that tree which is no longer standing on its own, or maybe is struggling to stand on its own. You find like a support to push it, and when you push it up, everybody will people that do not actually see the support which is helping that tree to stand, they will actually stand in they will have this perception that this tree is actually standing, right? The tree is standing, not actually knowing that there's something that is forcing it or supporting it to stand. If that support is taken off, then you will see the reality of what's happening to that tree. I decided to share that so as to give a bit of a picture, just a picture of what I'm trying to share in this video. That's exactly what is happening right now in the house, in property, specifically in the UK. So, if we notice, um, before now, house prices hadn't it's either been stagnant, or maybe it's not been as high as this, and there's a reason behind that, because obviously there had been a demand that has been held back for such a long time, and that's because of the lockdown. So people are forced not to buy property, or it's not that they didn't, not forced not to buy. They're willing to buy property, but they couldn't go out. Surveyors couldn't go out to look at properties. You couldn't even go and view properties yourself. So then that was a restriction. Then all of a sudden, when the restriction was lifted or eased, what happens is, because you have had this demand for property that you've shut out, you've closed it, you've forced it, but then all of a sudden there's a boom. People start going out and rushing out to view property. Surveyors are going out there. There's a lot of backlog of work that solicitors and brokers have actually had over those times because they couldn't complete on sales of properties and everything. So there's lots of work to be done. Right. And because of that, that's one of the reasons, because of that demand, what then happens is suppliers are now saying that, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on right here? We can see that there's a lot of people actually looking to buy property now. Guess what happens is the price for property goes up. So that's one of the reasons why the house prices have gone up. The second reason why house property have also gone up is because now, because government sees what is happening, in that people are either made redundant, or we are in recession. Interest rate is low. Some lenders are majority of the lenders are reluctant to want to give mortgage, and that's because obviously they also need to be sure that if they were to give you mortgage or give people mortgage, they have to continue. They will be able to fulfill their own part of it in terms of like stay to carry on, afford to pay their mortgage on a monthly basis. So that's why there's lots of checks that is going on and right now when it comes to buying properties and getting mortgage. A lot of checks which they wouldn't normally do, and there's also ask of increase in the deposit, so that the risk of obviously they can manage it right. So things like this force or maybe encourage the government to more like, let's come up with some strategy or what we can do to encourage people to buy property. So what they did was, one of the things was like they gave these mortgage holidays, they gave the stamp duty as well, which they've given the stamp duty holiday until March next year. And there's also a talk that even that could even be extended. Now, because of that, those are the things that made demand to go up, especially when the government has made this law that you need to get so you can get stamp duty break, or maybe so the stamp duty is actually cut down. So as a result of this, what then happens is, right, the demand is now going up, right, because people really want to get to buy property before March so that they can take advantage of the stamp duty holiday which the government have introduced. The increase right now, which we are actually seeing in house prices, is not a natural one. Like I said, the tree naturally will stand on its own without much of a support from anybody. If there's going to be any support to the tree, the natural one is the roots, basically, right? But if you cut the tree down and then all of a sudden you want it to keep standing, you want it to stand without planting it to the roots, you can either hold it up or put some support. So that is what happened now. They're now holding up the house prices and say, oh yeah, the house is standing, right? And then the demand is going up because of all those incentives. And guess what? The house price is going up, so it's causing for people to come and want to buy. House prices going up. But the question is, how long is this going to be here for? Because there's so much to how much you can support something. Like, just like the scenario of the tree, you are supporting the tree that has been cut off from its roots to stand. How long would you keep supporting it before you said, I'm no longer doing this anymore? Don't forget all the promises that the government are making and everything they are doing. They have a good intention, right, for this, obviously to protect the business, the housing business, and also to provide the housing as well. But then the thing is that, where are they getting all this money from, or where are, all this support they're giving? It will come to a time where they can't afford it anymore, and then the support will go off, just like I said with a tree. And when the support is off, like a tree that is not actually naturally growing from the roots, in that it's been cut off already, obviously is going to fall. Exactly what's going to happen with house prices. This is not a guarantee. This is not going to be like, I'm not saying that this exactly what's going to happen, but this is based on the fact that we have right now. This is what could happen, because the house prices are not naturally go increasing in prices. They are actually being forced to increase in price, and that's what it is. They are being forced here based on the incentives, the support that the government are putting around. Now, the question now will be, should I actually go and buy now? Which is many questions that people actually will ask. Yes. Yeah. I mean, when something is being, like I said, when you have a false increase or force, like I said, the scenario of the tree, something is being supported. It's not naturally allowed to grow. It's just something that you're supporting it. Um, like I said, it's temporary. So let's assume now people start buying a house because of the house increase, which we know based on the knowledge I've actually shared right now, that the increase is not natural. And then you end up buying, let's for argument's sake, you find a house which is going for £100,000 now. Um, it's more likely that that house is overpriced. That's because of it being forced, it's being support. When the support is taken out, it's gonna go back to its original value of that property. Or even if not the original, it could actually fall, because there is also the Bank of England talking about the house prices could drop by 16% or so. So if you bought the price, if you bought a property for £100,000, for example, and then the support is no longer there, and then we start having the case where the demand start dropping, either because people cannot afford to buy anymore, the support is no longer there in terms of like the incentive, and also maybe people are losing job because of redundant, or businesses are closing, or whatever happens, right? And the house prices keep dropping again. If you bought the house for £100,000, when based on the fact that it was a supported increase in terms of the price of property, and it's now dropped, like let's say dropped like let's say 10%, which is now the price is now £90,000. You would have taken a mortgage, right, based on £100,000, and then the house price is dropped to £90,000, which means that the value of your debt is more than the value of the price of the house. Say, for example, you bought it for £100,000, you put a deposit down of 10%, for example, which is £10,000 in this scenario. You now took a loan of £90,000 on the house. If the house price goes down, it means obviously your equity of 10%, which is £10,000, you've lost that. You are now in debt of £90,000, which we were in before. But in the worst, that's just for 10% drop. If it was 15% drop, it means then the price of the house will now be £85,000, but you took a loan of £90,000, which means the value of your debt is higher than the assets you have. It's not actually total bad story or for you, for property. That's the good thing about it. Over if you It depends on what goals you actually have with the property. You can either decide to hold that property for a long time, so that house prices could then, the prices can then go back to the state of, let's say, £100,000 in the future, and then you actually have your equity in that house buy. So as long as you have a long term goal, then buying right now is good. It's not a bad thing. You can take advantage of that. That's the first plan, as long as you have a long-term plan. And then also for cash flow as well, you have to make sure you factor into it that there are lots of good cash flow that you can get from that property, either for rental, maximizing the rental, either for single let, or you can do HMO, service accommodation as well, which is not as attractive as it used to be because of the pandemic. But then obviously you have to make sure look at how you can maximize the property, if it is a buy to let. But if it is something that you want to live into it, I believe just hold on to it. House prices usually tend to go up anyways, but this is just a very simple scenario. Hopefully it's not going to be a worse house drop. We can't really tell exactly what it is, but this is just just a guess that even if it falls to 15%, just be ready in your mind that you will be a negative equity temporarily. This is why people shouldn't panic. So if you actually get negative equity, as long as you have the plan to hold it for a long time, house price tend to increase as well in value. So that's one thing there as well. And also, for anyone that want to buy property right now, I would strongly advise that you make sure you do your due diligence very, very carefully so that you don't end up buying overpriced house. Many prices right now of houses are overpriced because of, like I said, the scenario I gave earlier as well. So work with professionals, buy with knowledge. Do not just jump without actually having to get support from someone, or companies have been doing it as well. You can actually reach out to us on Elsewhere Properties. We can work with you. We can support on that. We are not financial advisor, but we based on our experience and based on what we know in property, we are sharing right now, and we can also work with people in achieving their property go. So my name is David Adewale from Elsewhere Properties Limited. You can reach out to us either on Facebook. We have our Facebook page there. Just type Elsewhere Properties. That's ELL Worth Properties on Facebook. You can also go onto our website as well, which is elsworthproperties.co.uk. That's elsworthproperties.co.uk. You can reach out to us there. Just drop us a line and we will reach back to you on that as well. We're also on LinkedIn. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you for watching.